Chapter 1. "You going to eat that entire tub of ice cream, or do the rest of us get to have some?" Marcus said as he strode into his kitchen, where Suzanne was sitting alone after rummaging through his freezer for the ice cream she'd brought over. She just stared at him as she jabbed a large tablespoon into the big tub of strawberry swirl again and lifted out a big hunk. "Help yourself," she said around the mouthful, feeling the brain freeze the minute she swallowed. Marcus shook his head, taking the tub of ice cream from her and moving it near the sink, away from her. He reached for 3 bowls from the cupboard, and Suzanne leaned against the nicked-up blue and white counter. Marcus and Charlotte's house was small, dated. The kitchen was closed off from the rest of the house, and the old wood floor squeaked in places. But it had a big yard and was close to their mom's place, and Eva had her own bedroom. Suzanne could hear the voices of her family coming from the small living room as she took another bite from the hunk of ice cream still on her spoon. "So why are you hiding out in here?" Marcus said, with only a glance over his shoulder. He was in a faded army green t-shirt and blue jeans, sock-footed, and his dark wavy hair appeared freshly cut. He also seemed very much at home, the family man with an instant family, a role she hadn't expected for him. 6-year-old Eva came running into the kitchen in a red and white flowered t-shirt and pajama pants and wrapped her arms around his leg, standing on his foot. "Can I have ice cream, please?" she said. She was so damn sweet and tiny. Marcus smiled down at her and rustled her shoulder-length brown hair, also freshly cut. Suzanne recalled that her mom had booked a granddaughter's hair day for Eva and Allison only the day before at Delilah's Hair, a friend's salon. "Just dishing yours up now, sweet pea," Marcus said as he lifted her and sat her on the counter. Suzanne loved the nickname he had given her. "Here, you can help," he continued and gave Eva the scoop, his hand over hers. Suzanne finished off the ice cream on her spoon, holding it up. Her cell phone was silent, its screen still black, and she double-checked to see if the thing was powered on. "You didn't answer me, Suzanne. What's going on?" Marcus asked as he helped Eva down and handed her a bowl. She walked with it back into the living room, all smiles. "You sure are good with her," Suzanne said, then gestured toward him with her spoon. "You given any thought to what will happen when her mom is released from prison?" Marcus was still dishing ice cream into 3 other bowls, and he let out a sigh before shaking his head. "You're changing the subject, and that's a long ways off, not something I'm worrying about right now, or putting on the table for discussion. So, what's up with you? Because you're off tonight. How come? Problems?" He gestured with the empty scoop to her and the cell phone she was holding, and she forced herself to put it down on the counter. She shook her head. "No, everything's fine," she said, not sure what to make of his face and the way he was looking at her. "Bullshit, Suzanne. You're usually way better at hiding your offness. So, what's got you so glued to that phone? You've been texting someone, and all I can figure is whoever it is has you kind of distracted. You've barely said anything to anyone, just glanced at your phone every 30 seconds. This isn't like you. Then you slipped off alone to the kitchen, eating away your stress, as Charlotte says." She hadn't realized he'd been watching. She had to fight the urge to pick up her phone, to look again at the texts that had gone unanswered. "The silent treatment?" Marcus let out a sarcastic laugh. "It's nothing, really," Suzanne said. "And I wasn't stress-eating," she added for effect. He turned around, tossed the scoop in the sink, and wiped his hands on the dish towel before gesturing to the ice cream lid, which was still beside her on the counter. "Whatever you say, Suzanne." She reached for it and crossed the kitchen to hand it to him, just shaking her head when he gestured as if asking whether she wanted more. He had a way of making her seem defensive when she was anything but. "Just for the record, Suzanne, you can keep telling me it's nothing, but I know it isn't, or you wouldn't be so distracted.